Hi everyone, thanks a million for checking out the video. If you're new to the channel, what I do is I review my goalkeeper gloves that I've worn over the past kind of year or so, talking through what I liked, what I didn't like, and things I would change on them, and answer any questions you have in the comments. I've actually been out injured for about 12 months or so. I've had a couple of different injuries, so I'm only back playing recently, and I didn't think I have as many gloves as I actually do to get through, but I still have quite a lot. So if you have any questions or anything, do pop them in the comments, but I'll get going and tell you a little bit about the gloves that I've been wearing. So starting out, I actually have three similar pairs of Pope's gloves. So I've had a couple of pairs of Pope's gloves in the past that I've really liked. Unfortunately, I have three here in front of me that I really didn't like. So I suppose why I didn't like them is I bought these thinking that they could be a potential match glove for me. They're a Julian Pollersbeck SMU, who at the time was playing for Lyon. I think he's after moving on since, but I really like classic kind of gloves, and these are actually they're kind of imitations of early 2000s Adidas gloves, and I was sure I was going to really like them. When I got them, they didn't really fit like I was expecting. So they're a size 9, and I'm typically a size 9, and the glove itself does fit me, but the thumb is it's such an odd kind of experience on a glove. So it's a full latex backhand, so the fit is never going to be like perfectly snug, and I was prepared for that. But the glove, like I said, is a size 9. It fits these 4 fingers, but on my thumb it is absolutely enormous. So like I can fully fold the thumb back, and I could do similar if it would let me here. Like I have so much room in this thumb. I don't know how well that's coming out in the camera, but it's like a size 11 thumb on a size 9 glove. So I like a really good fitting glove, and I knew I was going to sacrifice a little bit of that with the full latex body on this, but I really just could not wear this glove in a game because it was just such an ill-fitting thumb. The rest of the glove, it is quite nice, you know, like I like the full latex backhand. It is quite heavy and it does take on a bit of water is the only thing, but for what I was expecting, that did deliver. Latex wise, very good as well. I have no complaints with the latex. I did wear these a lot, primarily coaching and in training, but the glove itself, I should have liked it a bit more. Just the thumb is so odd. I'm kind of surprised as to how poor it actually was. Similar to this glove, it's the same glove, essentially just a different backhand design, but this thumb is actually even worse. I don't know how we can see that there, but they're so bulky and boxy, like, you know, compared to other thumbs. Like a pair of Adidas gloves here beside me, I'll talk about in a minute. Like, look at the difference in those thumbs, you know, the size of it. So just I couldn't really get to grips with these at all. Full latex wrist strap on these as well, I did really like that. But yeah, unless you have like a thumb injury or something that you're heavily taping, I really couldn't recommend these gloves. If they could taper this thumb, there might be something there to work with, but yeah, definitely not gloves for me. Moving on, I have several more pairs of Popes. A little bit more good news if you're from Popes watching on this side of it. So I have, how many is there, 6 or 7 pairs of these, and they're all kind of the same but slight differences. So these are probably my favorite ones, these kind of aqua colorway here. They've kind of quartzite elements in the grip here as well, so I really like these gloves, all of them, these ones in particular. So I have 6 or 7 pairs of these here, and I wore them for several months of the season last year. Really liked them. I was wearing the kind of hybrid Adidas gloves for a long time, and I moved to these as kind of a cheaper option. I really didn't regret it. Full neoprene backhand on these, really liked it. I also have a tripod now, so I can actually try on my gloves while I'm talking to talk you through them better. I haven't worn them in a while, so they're a little bit dead, but I really like these gloves. Size 9, perfect fit for me. I actually have a pair in a size 9.5 as well, and I could get away with them. But yeah, I really like these gloves. I wish they would bring out more with this specific latex on it. I wore these several times in the wet, and they were top quality for the price. So size 9, my favorite thing about them is the full latex strap here as well. It gives such a snug fit. Really like it. When I bought them, I did think that they were potentially going to be a bit too lightweight for me. I like kind of a chunkier, meatier type glove, but really good. Lots of protection elements on the backhand here as well. I don't know if you can see it, but there is kind of a silicone, I would guess the material is, kind of a insert on the back of the hand here. Loved it. Really good punching power in these gloves. So they're very lightweight, but still give you the support you want out of a glove. I couldn't really recommend these gloves highly enough, to be honest. My only kind of downside with them is I can't get this latex for the last 6-7 months off of Pope, so something they should really look at reintroducing to their lineup, because I genuinely loved it. And they have several colorways as well, so I've had most of them. So I've had 2 pairs of these, the aqua ones here, 2 pairs of them. I think I have 3 pairs of these red ones here, and I have these ones as well. I think I actually have another one of these somewhere as well, but I suppose the only real difference in these gloves is the latex. So this is kind of it's more of a traditional latex, kind of like a Giga, a really high quality Giga is how I describe it. Worked really well for me in most conditions, but I just found that this kind of quartzite elements here was just much better in the wet. So yeah, I'd love to get more pairs of this exact glove if I could. Love the colorway, I love everything about it, but very small differences. Just I definitely preferred the quartzite kind of enforced latex and that. But yeah, so not a great start for the Popes, but these ones here are really good. Nothing at all I change on them. I often have lots of kind of tweaks that I'd like to make to a pair of gloves, but these ones were just really hit the money for me. Like, excellent fit all around, no kind of gimmicks in the glove. Yeah, couldn't really recommend these more. They're about 65-70 euro depending on what ones you get now, and I do think they are worth that, to be fair. So hopefully I can get my hands on a couple more pairs of these. But yeah, really good. So moving on, my most kind of recent pairs of match gloves. I have several pairs of Caliers here. So I have a couple of these Joe Hart versions. So I have 4 pairs of the white ones. I'll just bring in one of them here to talk about. And I have these yellow ones here as well that I actually have a broken finger at the minute as well. This pinky finger here is broken, so I have this one taped up. Kind of doesn't look great, but it's doing the job for me at the minute. So I have the 2 of these from last year and this year's newer model as well. So a couple of bits going on. I'll start off with the white version here of last year's, I suppose, now model. I absolutely love these gloves. I would give these gloves a 10 out of 10, and it's kind of irked me a little bit what they've done with the new range. So I normally don't wear like any kind of roll finger hybrids like this, but I just got them because I wanted to try them, and I ended up absolutely loving them. Like I said, I'm very picky with my goalkeeper gloves, and I have no complaints with this glove. Love the cut, love the fit. The wrist strap is just perfect. Thumb is perfect. Latex is excellent. No complaints with this glove. Like I said about the Popes, it's a little bit of a different type of neoprene. I'm not exactly sure if it even is a neoprene, but it has that kind of a feel to it, and it's very well reinforced. These elements, they look like they're just for show, but they definitely do provide a little bit of extra support. But I absolutely love these gloves. One thing I will say about them is they weren't brilliant like first day out of the packet, but I wore them 3-4 times, gave them a couple of washes, and they lasted for ages. I absolutely love these gloves. Love the colorway as well. Nice and simple, but still a bit of a pop of color off of it. The yellow ones down here, they're the same glove essentially, just in yellow. I definitely prefer the white ones, just I couldn't get my hands on any more of the white ones. They were out of stock at the time, so I bought these. Exact same, love these gloves. Not a big fan of the yellow colorway, but it doesn't really bother me. And like I said, I have these 2 taped up at the minute. I'm trying to find a 4-finger glove to get me through the next couple of weeks until my finger heals. But I really loved these gloves. Size 9 as well, fit me absolutely perfectly. I wouldn't really change a thing on these gloves, to be honest. Even I normally never wear like roll finger gloves, but I really like these. So it really annoyed me then. I got the new range, and it's just kind of annoyed me with these gloves. So the Calier brought out the last range that were Joe Hart's SMUs, what he was wearing for playing for Celtic, and now they brought out like a V2. But this isn't what he wears for Celtic. Like, none of the gloves that are in the range are actually what he's wearing for Celtic now. So the fit and everything on these gloves is really good. I've just got these gloves. I haven't actually worn them yet. I've pre-washed them. The latex is definitely different. It's not it doesn't feel particularly tacky so far, but like with these ones, I had to wear them a few times for them to come alive. So maybe that'll be the case with these. But my big gripe with them is these were Joe Hart's SMUs that they were selling to customers. And these are so-called Joe Hart SMUs that they're selling to customers, but they're not really. Like, Joe Hart still wears a strap, and for some reason they brought out all strapless gloves. You can actually put a strap on them, so there is like a Velcro patch here, but they don't supply you with a strap. You have to have your own strap to put on it, and it's not a full latex strap like it was on the previous model, which I absolutely loved. I would give these like a 10, but at the moment I'm not as in love with these. The fit is still quite good. For a strapless glove, the wrist is good, but I've put some straps from my One Gloves and my Adidas's onto these, and it just makes them like significantly better. I can't really understand why they don't have a strap, especially when they're Joe Hart's SMUs, and Joe Hart still wears a strap playing for Celtic on the telly every week. You know, he has it's not a full latex strap. He has a double wrapped elasticated strap on them now, but for them to be SMUs and not be the actual glove that the keeper is wearing, for me doesn't really make sense. You can also see the lighting might not be brilliant here, but these gloves are also quite battered, but the latex on these is fully white. This is kind of a pale blue, kind of grey latex. From looking at Joe Hart's gloves, this doesn't look like the latex that he wears. I could be wrong on that. Obviously, I haven't held his gloves or anything like that, but it just kind of is a little bit annoying because I think these were actually what he was wearing in the SPL or whatever, and I don't think that these are. I still think they'll be good gloves. I hate strapless gloves, to tell you the truth. It's something I don't think I'll ever get on board with, but for a strapless glove, the fit is good, you know, so I definitely will be wearing these with a strap when eventually I get around to wearing them, but it is not bad. It's still quite reinforced there. The latex is definitely thicker here as well. You can see, I don't know how well that is coming across there, but this is really spongy on my backhand, whereas this is quite thin. Probably won't play much different. They don't feel that much different on hand, but yeah, the few tweaks. Latex kind of is TBC how it actually performs. I've no doubt it'll be decent, but it's not the exact SMU that Joe Hart wears, and that is a little bit kind of annoying to me, and I don't see why. One of the best features I thought in these Caliers was the lack of kind of like bells and whistles, and it was just a really, really high performing glove. I feel like even looking at this glove, it just feels like there's something missing. Like looking at this just doesn't look right to me. So I hope eventually they bring out a strapped model. They brought out 3 of these gloves in different colorways. This one, kind of an updated version of this, and a black model. I like all of them to look at, but I hope in the next kind of round they bring out a strapped glove as well, because I think that this was a close to perfect glove, and you know, sometimes if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And I feel like these are just a little bit wide of the mark, but I must also still wear them in training and things like that, but I will be wearing them with a strap. So that's my thought on those Caliers. So yeah, hopefully I can get my hands on a few more of these to get me through the rest of the season, because I did really, really like those. So hopefully either they come back in stock or they bring out a strapped model of these. So yeah, I actually have about 10 pairs of these as well. These ones here, I have so many of them because I did actually like them that much. You can see I have these ones, these are soaking wet as well, but I have these ones taped up as well, similar to the yellow ones, so I'm still working away with those. Next up then, I have a couple of pairs of Adidas gloves. So if you've watched some of my videos in the past, you'll know that I wore Adidas gloves religiously over the years, the URG 1.0s when they first came out. So I actually have 7 or 8 pairs of these. I ended up getting them off a friend of mine who I used to play with, who was sponsored by Adidas, and I really like them. They're not as good as the old URG 1.0s, which is a little bit annoying. I was okay with the lack of durability that they provided. These are closer to a URG 2.0 than a 1.0. The Adidas pros who are playing in this glove aren't wearing the latex that's available to the market in most cases. It's still the really low durability, high grip one. So that was kind of a little bit annoying, similar to the Caliers. You know, if you're being sold a high quality product, you kind of want to wear it. So but this is the updated version. I did buy these myself. I paid full whack for them, and they're not really worth it, to be honest. So like I've showed a couple of pairs of gloves there, and I've loads more as well. I can't remember exactly how much I paid for these, but it was full price. They were quite expensive, probably around €100, so I would guess. And they're definitely not worth it. So like the Calliers I showed there, I think they were 60-ish euro. Pope's the same, something like that. I would much more recommend getting 2 pairs of those than 1 pair of these. So I bought these hoping that the latex would be kind of back to the high performing latex that they used to have, but it's just not. It's just it's a good latex, but it's not worth the price. Love the fit, love the feel. Obviously these are also strapless gloves, and I don't ever wear them strapless. I talked about the new Calliers that I have there, that I don't like the strapless feel, but they feel much better than this. This feels so flimsy on the wrist to me here. So I have been wearing these double elasticated straps. I've just been stitching them on there and wearing them. Works quite well, but for me, when you're paying that much money for a glove, I would like to have like nothing missing, like I was saying. So especially when there is so many professionals actually wearing them with a strap. The latex, it is really good. You know, there's no getting away from it. It is quite a good latex, but is it twice as good as some of the cheaper gloves I have to show today? Definitely not. But if you have the money, or you can get them on sale, they're not bad gloves. I love the look of them as well. I think they're really smart looking. So yeah, I'd also I need to buy a few more pairs of these straps. I've seen next year's models of these already. I probably will get them again, but I just don't think that they're worth the full price. Would like them to re-release the Ultra Tacky Pro version latex, because I love the look of Adidas gloves, and I typically do wear Preds, so I like kind of having matching boots and gloves. But for me, really good gloves, can't knock them too much other than the strap. Good fitting as well. These are all size 9, fit me perfectly, but for the price you're paying, you can get better for your money, I would say, in most cases. So I have 2 pairs of Titans here, and these are kind of from last year's range, and this is from this year. So I did like these gloves. So Titan are a brand that I've had a couple of pairs from over in the years, and I have always quite liked them, but never really fully embraced them as like one of my match gloves. So this is from last year's model, this glove here. It's an aqua glove, and I really like some elements of it, and others I don't really understand. So first of all, I love the look of it. These are both size 9 as well. The one thing I will say is a couple of things I didn't like in this glove. They've definitely been addressed in this kind of newer range. So it's an aqua glove, like I said, but it's a fully mesh lined glove. So the latex, it's called a gecko or an octo grip. It's basically a quartzite glove, but the latex is good, but it's a fully mesh lined glove. So you can imagine this here, I think you can see it in the camera, it takes on quite a bit of water. So like I constantly found that I was like doing this, trying to get rid of water out of my gloves, but I still did quite like them. It is double elasticated wrist strap as well, which I don't absolutely love, but it still fit quite well. One of the main things I didn't like was this kind of extended wrist abrasion zone here. I always find that these are a bit of a waste of time. I feel like unless you're a total novice keeper, you shouldn't be kind of running into issues here with like putting your hand down on the ground like this and things like that. So I don't particularly like those on my gloves. Like I said, I did find that they have addressed a lot of issues in the kind of newer model here. So you can see the wrist strap difference here. This is a semi kind of elasticated one. There's a little bit of a gap basically in the full latex one here. It's much better fit. I really like it. Personally, I prefer a full latex one, but this is absolutely fine. I did find as well the thumb was a bit tight on this glove, and it's definitely been addressed in this issue. So I don't know if you can see that, but to me the kind of white and orange glove looks a bit kind of more traditional than this glove. It looks a bit short and stubby, this thumb, in comparison to this one. Different cuts too. They're both kind of hybrid cuts, but this glove is definitely a lot tighter than this glove. So this is from Stefan Ortega from Manchester City, his SMU. As best I can tell, this looks to be what he's actually wearing too. But like I talked about the backhand material, this is much more water resistant, this model, even though it's not technically branded as an aqua glove. It actually performs better in the wet. I really like the latex on these ones as well. It's called a gecko grip. I think it's basically just a contact latex, to be honest, but I really like it. It's definitely more rolled, as in a traditional roll finger, than this glove. But yeah, definitely like these. Both size 9 fit well. They're quite lightweight, but decent padding on them too. The cut maybe isn't my favorite, but it's quite good. You know, if you like this cut, you like this glove. Yeah, so really good gloves. They're about €70 or so as well. So I definitely recommend them for the price. And this model here, I could see myself actually wearing this glove, to be honest. If they had it maybe one of my more traditional cuts, I definitely would wear it. My only kind of gripe with it is I did actually break my finger in this exact glove the very first time I wore it. So a bit of a love-hate relationship with them, but definitely good gloves. Would recommend them if you've been thinking about checking them out. No major complaints with this one. So yeah, check them out. Next up then, I have a couple of pairs of One Gloves. So I have 3 pairs of One Gloves here. These are brand new. I haven't actually worn them. I have just pre-washed them. My initial impressions are quite good. I wore these in like pre-season, so it's actually been a long time since I wore them, but I decided I put them into the review for a reason. So I've actually lost one of the straps here. I think I put it onto my new Caliers that I was talking about. I liked these, didn't love them. But they're still quite good. Very basic looking gloves, which I quite like. But I do think that there's been subtle improvements made along the One Gloves along the way, which is something that I actually like. So you can see the cut here, very similar to the Titans I just had on. But I would like it rolled over, kind of like my Adidas gloves or my Popes, but it's very similar to that. So these are kind of like the original model that came out. And this is Alex McCarthy's version. So you can see the kind of blue colorway as well. I'm wearing these a lot on AstroTurf, so they look quite dull here in the video. But the cut and everything is definitely a bit tighter on this glove. So I have the strap on kind of funny here now because it's only thrown onto the glove, but it's a double elasticated wrist strap. It's nice enough. I think the glove would be a lot better with a full latex one. I know Freddie Woodman at Preston wears these gloves with a full latex, and I think it makes the glove look a lot better and more secure. But I do like them. Latex is quite good as well. I wore this in some terrible conditions and I do actually rate it. My only thing with these gloves is they're very, very lightweight. They do have a bit of protection on them, but I just kind of prefer a heavier glove. Simple as that. If they made these just a little bit heavier, I think I'd be more willing to kind of wear them in games, but I do like them at the same time. It's just kind of a me thing, really. Like the cut, like the fit, size 9 as well. No major complaints other than the weight, and if I could get a full latex strap, I'd be much more likely to wear these. These kind of new ones then, obviously I haven't worn them, but they're essentially the same thing in a different colorway and a different cut, but I prefer them. So like I was talking about subtle improvements, I don't love the strap on this glove. It kind of overhangs too much for me. This is an elasticated wrist strap. It's only a single one. It fits so much better, so it gives me much more of a secure fit like a latex strap does. And I talked about this glove being a bit too light. The additional cut I find on this, so the cuts are actually different. I don't know how well you can see it or not like this. Obviously this is a bit wider. It just makes the glove feel a bit more sturdy, a bit bigger on my hands, and I just prefer that. So even like the thumb here is kind of a more negative thumb and a flat thumb here. But yeah, I just prefer these. Love the colorway of them as well. So really good gloves. Not too much to complain about with these. I haven't really worn them, but the latex feels quite similar. The glove feels a bit better on my hands. It's still quite lightweight, probably a little bit too lightweight for me, but I do like it. So I'm looking forward to actually wearing these. I could see myself potentially getting another pair of these, to be fair, as well. So decent price range as well. Like I was talking about with the Adidas gloves that I said were just too expensive, I'd say I got 2 or 3 of these for the same price as one of those. So yeah, decent gloves. Hopefully eventually I can get a pair with a full latex wrist strap on them, and I think that would make a difference potentially. So yeah, moving on from my One Gloves, what do I have next? So I have a couple more random pairs of gloves coming up now. So a pair I've definitely never featured on this channel before. It's my first pair of them, pair of Behalts. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing that correctly. So I bought these, I saw them on Instagram, and I saw a couple of keepers in Scotland wearing them over the years. I said I'd give them a go. And I really like the look of them. They're kind of very, very unique gloves, but I like them. I like the look of them anyway. Some simple tweaks would make these gloves much, much better. So you can see they're kind of a half neoprene, half full latex here. I like the idea of that, but the fit is a little bit off. So they're size 9. I would probably go down half a size if I was getting them again. And they're a hybrid cut, negative in the middle, 2 fingers, and rolled on the 2 outsides. I actually like that. One thing I do love about them is the thumb. I say this about so many gloves that have a neoprene backhand, that they should underwrap the thumb and overwrap the thumb. It just adds so much sturdiness to this glove, and it is top quality. It's so good fitting. I will say that is one of the nicest thumbs I've ever had on a glove. But the overall fit is a bit loose on the glove. It kind of feels like a glove that could do it like an internal latex or something, just to keep my hand a bit more steady, because I feel like there's a lot of movement going on in the glove. Just something I didn't particularly like. It's contact latex. It's decent, but nothing special. I couldn't knock it too much for the price. At the same time, though, the price of gloves is getting more and more expensive, and these are targeted as good gloves for professional and amateur keepers. They're about £50, I think I paid for them. They're probably worth just about that. I like that they're a little bit different as well. You know, the design it's very unique to them, you know, so credit where credit is due. I do like a lot about the gloves. Full latex wrist strap and the thumb, really good points. The latex is nothing special, but decent. Just the overall fit of the glove was a little bit too baggy for me. Maybe if I went down half a size, I wouldn't be saying that, but I wouldn't rule out trying another pair of these. But I'd like to see the next range of these maybe improve ever so slightly. But yeah, that's them. Size 9 in those. I'd probably get an 8.5. But interesting gloves. I wouldn't recommend you not getting them, if that makes sense. Next up then, I have a pair of HO soccer gloves. So I actually really like these. So these are a negative cut glove as well. They're kind of rolled on the pinky and index finger here, kind of semi-rolled, kind of over like that. Not like not like the old style VG3s. But these were decent gloves. I primarily wore these in like summertime, so I never really got to try them in overly wet conditions, and they are rock hard as well now because I haven't worn them in a little while. But yeah, decent gloves. Size 9. I would get a size 9 again. I like the gloves. This fit here is incredible, and these I'm actually really remembering these gloves now, to be honest. The fit on them is really snug, possibly a bit too snug on the index and pinky finger. So it feels like my fingers are like twisting a little bit when I was catching the ball. Felt like this kind of inseam here was doing more catching than the actual latex. But I did like the gloves. Fit is really good overall, and the rest of the glove really secure, thick wrist strap there. I don't really have that beside me now for reference, but this wrist strap goes from like all of my wrist, basically. There's like no kind of movement there at all, so it almost feels like I have my wrist taped. It's really secure. But really like these gloves. The latex was good as well. I didn't get to try it in the wet, which is where you really need your latex to perform, but I did like them. I love the simplicity of the glove as well. White with just some kind of eye-catching details on it. I paid about €60 for these. I paid again. Couple of pairs of HO soccer gloves out there that I have my eye on, so a brand I'm potentially looking at for next season. I don't love this big MCG here, but it is a bit of a throwback to one of their earlier kind of gloves. But yeah, interesting gloves. I don't have too many of these in the past, but I will be getting some more in the future. Nearly there now as well. So I have definitely another brand that I've never featured on this channel, a pair of Gladiators. A bit of a miss, these gloves, to be honest. I actually think they're really good, but the sizing on them is awful. So like I said, I always buy my gloves in a size 9. I bought these in a size 9, and they are so tight. So one thing I will say about them, they come with a protective latex on the latex. A plasticky kind of latex, and it makes the glove so tight when you try them on that I could not get the glove on without taking the latex off. But they are, I would need to go, I think, a full size up. I don't even think a half a size would do it. So I think the glove itself is actually quite good, but the sizing is horrendous. So I like so much about the glove. Love the wrist strap. It's too short here is the only thing, but I think that might be because I need to go a size up. The backhand material is excellent, really simple design. I quite like it. Thumb is a 10 out of 10 as well. Latex, I can't really say. I've only worn these gloves coaching and it seems grand, but you need to be testing the glove in training or in a match, and I haven't been able to do that because they are so tight. I'm a size 9. I would at least go to a 9.5 in these gloves if I was to get another pair. My fingers are bursting out the tops here, and they're not usually doing that, like, you know. So if you are thinking about getting these gloves, I wouldn't deter you from getting them from my initial impressions, but at least a half size up, potentially even a full size. Next up then, I have a pair of these interesting pair of Pumas. So they're a Keeper Sport SMU. They're advertised kind of as Jan Sommer kind of SMUs. I've seen a new colorway of them come out, and they're definitely not Jan Sommer SMUs, but what they do actually have is an internal latex in the glove, which I've actually never had one before. I hear them featured a lot on different things. So I'll turn the glove inside out so you can possibly see it. So I think you can see like the ridges here on the latex. So that's actually like it's an internal latex basically that stops kind of finger movement in the glove. It's kind of interesting, to be honest. I don't know if it actually works or not, but I don't really mind it. It definitely feels like you've a seriously padded glove on. So I haven't actually worn these gloves in training or a match, and why I haven't worn them is there's some sizing issues with the glove basically. So like it's size 9, the glove fits me perfectly, but this is like a size 7 thumb. You know, my thumb or size 7 pinky finger. It's so short. I don't know if you can kind of see it on the actual glove, but it's cut off so early in comparison to the other fingers. It just doesn't really make sense to me. So the rest of the glove fits, but my pinky finger is bursting at the seams here. So just such an oddity. Puma gloves always, for me, there's like one thing that always just I'd really like to change on each glove. So like I don't know if you can see like how under pressure like that glove is, or that finger is for me. Like, so the rest of the glove fits well. I like the black glove as well. It could do with like an under wrap here to really like taper off this thumb. It feels a bit flimsy here, to be honest. The latex is advertised as a super soft latex too. I'm not sure how well it would perform, but these are very cheap gloves. They're €35. I basically bought them just to try them. Like the full latex gussets, the internal latex. I actually like the cut as well. It's a really tight negative cut. And the wrist strap, a lot of good things, but they're practically unwearable because of this tiny little pinky finger. Like, you know, there's like, look at the size of my pinky finger there to my ring finger, and like compared to the glove, it's like it needs to be like up here almost, like, you know, for it to be like a normal fit. So a bit odd. I always find that Puma should release gloves that their goalkeepers are wearing, because their retail models are so different to the ones that their pros are wearing, and the pro models are actually excellent. So yeah, a lot to be left desired there, but very interesting gloves. So maybe something that might fit like a female keeper or something like that, who has like more kind of slender hands or something like that. But if I was to wear these gloves, I constantly have to be doing this with them to even make them slightly wearable. So yeah, bit odd, but I'm still intrigued by them to potentially get them again if they could fix that issue. Next up then, I have 2 pairs of Nikes. So similar, I'm pulling these out randomly from the pile beside me. I'm nearly done as well, but more sizing issues on these gloves. So I'm always a size 9. I've had loads of VG3s over the years. I bought these in a size 9. They're way too small for me. So I got these in Sports Direct for really cheap. These are both the promo models as well, and these are way too tight for me. So I went a half size up, and these did fit better, but they're still way too tight for me. So if you are buying a pair of VG3s, I would go a full size up, to be honest. I really like this kind of checkered black kind of glove that they brought out. I just thought it was kind of nice looking, and I have a couple of pairs of Nike boots that it goes well with. I like the cut. Wish they would wrap this over, but I've been saying that for years on all their gloves. I do prefer the older VG3 cut as well, that fully wraps around, but I do like this as well. The strap, I love the strap on Nike gloves, which is one of the reasons I do go back to them quite a bit. And the negative middle fingers it is a very nice glove, and the latex is decent, but I would go full size up, and I think that I could see myself wearing these gloves again if I did get the sizing right, but they're just a bit too uncomfortable to wear. Full latex kind of backhand on them as well. I really like it. I feel like it gives me an excellent punch off them. So if I can get these at a decent price in a size 10, I probably will actually go back to them, you know. But unfortunately, a couple of gloves in a row there that had some sizing issues this year. And then my last couple of pairs here. So I have a pair of Saviors. So these are very random gloves. As you can see there now, one glove is kind of pink and one is blue, and it's kind of vice versa then on the backhand as well. I don't particularly like it, you know. I got these gloves for free, but they're just a bit too out there for me. So fair play for trying something a bit different. There's a couple of things I do like as well. So it has kind of a half strap here that comes onto the backhand and kind of seals like this. I don't really like that, to be honest. You don't really notice it too much, but I just prefer like a regular wrist strap. I will say the fit is class. So these are a size 9. Fit is excellent. This is like just a thumb. There's no wrap over, wrap under, nothing. Fits excellent, like really, really good, which is a bit surprising. But it's a really nice fit. Same with the rest of the fingers, another kind of hybrid cut like this as well. But there's just a bit too much going on for me in this glove, like the different colors and things like that. It just kind of doesn't suit me, so I never really fully warmed to it. But one thing about it is the materials on the backhand feel, I don't know, it just doesn't feel right to me. It just feels a little bit cheap. Like I can feel some of the stitching and things like, but fair play for trying something different. But the latex for me was a little bit of a letdown. I found it quite poor in the wet, so something I just kind of couldn't really get to grips with. I wore these in a warm-up just to try them out, and I just felt like I had no confidence in them whatsoever. So not gloves I particularly be going back to, but I will say I do know some other keepers who have them and they really like them. So if these kind of suit your eye, maybe try them out. Fit and stuff is really good, but they're just kind of not for me. They're too busy. I like more of a kind of a classic glove, and I don't love the wrist strap. Even though it fits okay, it's just I prefer kind of a more classic glove. So these are kind of never going to be a runner for me, to be honest. But yeah, check them out if these are something you might potentially be interested in. And then I have a pair of RWLKs. I think I might have even featured these on the channel before. I remember wearing these in pre-season. So gloves that are decent, but I don't absolutely love them. So they're very expensive at full price. I didn't pay full price for them. I only paid €40, so you can't complain too much. A lot I like about them, but some things I really didn't like. So they're a similar kind of cut to a lot of gloves that I've had. They're kind of a hybrid cut, like you can see there. So a couple of things I like. I did like the cut. Latex was good, not great, but it was definitely good. I couldn't knock it too much. An 8 out of 10. I've had some better ones here. I really like the cut. The fit, size 9 again. The thumb is excellent, lovely fit. Wrist strap, really good. Something that like I just think is so easy for brands to get right is a good fitting thumb and a good fitting wrist strap that a lot of on the market gloves at the minute are getting wrong. But one thing I really didn't like with these gloves is this middle finger here. So this one, you can see how twisted it is. So I'm not doing anything with that glove. It's just a poorly stitched glove. So you can see it there as well, that it's kind of it's just stitched incorrectly. But I've seen 2 other pairs of this come like this as well. So I don't know, it's just kind of like a quality control issue potentially in the factory, that like there's a stitching issue with this finger here. You might think it's nothing, but it's actually really annoying on the hand, because your finger sits on the seam here inside the glove rather than the latex. So the glove needs to be twisted like this, not like it sits like that, not like this. So that really annoyed me. So it just kind of was annoying, but I don't think that would be on all the gloves, to be honest. Just I think I got a bad batch with these ones, but I did actually like them, even saying that. The colorway is nice as well. Interesting backhand design on them. It's quite a hard wearing backhand as well. I wore these a lot coaching and on AstroTurf and things like that. It did really hold up. So yeah, I would really recommend them. They're on sale a lot of places at the minute. So if you've been looking at them for a while, they're definitely worth a look on sale. But yeah, decent gloves. Size 9 as well. I'm not sure if I actually said that, and the fit is really good as well. And then last 2 pairs here. 2 pairs of Elites. So some gloves that I really want to like, but just don't. So I've seen now like Thibaut Courtois has actually signed for Elite just before he did his ACL, unfortunately. And I was kind of a bit surprised by it, to be honest. I've worn these gloves. I really haven't liked them. They've made some improvements, but the big letdown for me has always been the latex. So I love the look of these gloves. For looks wise, for me, these gloves are like a 10 out of 10. I don't think you can improve, like, you know, the colorways and stuff. Just do it for me. And the contrast between the black and white and the white and blue, or blue and white even, is really nice. But this wrist strap on the older model now is just, it sits so awful for me. I really don't like that. But love the cut, love the look. The latex on these ones wasn't too bad. It was decent. But on these white and blue ones, the latex is horrendously bad. I wore these several times in like friendly games and things, and thinking I could get to grips with them. No, just absolutely dead latex. And they're over €100, these gloves, and there's so many major flaws with them. So I'll put on this glove now like I would. It's a removable strap, which I also hate. You could not wear these gloves strapless either. Like, look, like I can fit my whole finger in there, like no problem. Like, it's just so ill-fitting. Even if you were going to wear a strapless glove, this definitely isn't the one for you. But I'll put on this wrist strap now like I would, and I have pretty decent sized wrists here, and like I like a tight wrist strap, and it's a single wrist strap. And look how much like overhang I have on that. Like, I can nearly wrap it around twice. Like, you know, I can get it all the way around. I just have nothing to stick on. So like, that's how tight I would like to wear my wrist strap. And like, look at this, like, you know, like I'd love that's over £100. Like, that is so poor. Next up on the list then is not a small thing, the latex. So latex is horrendously bad. I gave this latex every chance. I pre-washed it 3 or 4 times. I wore it on different conditions. Wore it in the dry, it was perfect. Wore it in the wet, it was terrible. Like, terrible. I don't know what the latex exactly is, but for a glove of this price, it is so poor. The one thing I would say about it is the fit is class on these gloves. Other than the wrist strap, I obviously didn't wear this wrist strap. I got a different wrist strap to wear with them for my Adidas gloves, and that did kind of solve this problem. It definitely wasn't ideal, but I just don't know what is going on with this latex or the price of this gloves, how they're justifying putting it on there. So I would really recommend to kind of steer away from these. If they put like a basic grade contact latex on these gloves, I think I would be more likely to recommend them. So poor. But the fit is quality. They have something to work with for sure on these gloves, but the latex just needs some improvement. Like, it's honestly one of the worst latex that I've used. But I would like to give Elite gloves another go in the future. If they got a better latex, I think they have a lot to work with there. But yeah, that's actually it for all my gloves. I don't know how many that was. I thought it'd be a lot quicker than that as well. But if you have any questions, pop down in the comments. I'll get back to you. Cheers.